Alright everybody, what is good? My name is Peter. This is my chaotic fishing. If you haven't figured it out already, we are in the garage.
To come into my house.
I'm gonna have to ask you, please forgive the mess. I just went out, had a boat derb, and it literally was raining so hard that on 3 different occasions, I had to turn the bilge pump on. My shit was filling up. It was nuts. At one point in time, I opened up my live well tanks and it filled up because I was curious how hard it was raining. That being said, all my stuff got soaked, and if you've ever let your baits sit in water for a prolonged period of time, you know they get puffy, they get all fucked up. Anywho, so I got home, dumped everything out, turned the fan on, get them all dried out, and I've got about 8 new containers to go through and continually reorganize everything. I don't know about y'all, I don't have a great method for organizing stuff. I use all these different containers and I mark them with, you know, swim baits, bladed jigs, spinner baits, creature baits, trailers, craws. That's just the deal. But anywho, that's not why we're here today. That's not why we're here today. That's not why you're here today. Unless you randomly stumbled upon my channel, in which case I do apologize if you're not into fishing from a boat, from the bank, from the kayak, if you're not into overlanding, if you're not into camping, if you're not into, you know, doing electronics wiring, if you're not into doing all that different stuff. Again, my chaotic fishing, it's a little bit of everything. And if you're not into a little bit of everything, this might not be for you. Peace be with you. Otherwise, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying rad. I got a box. And this, while it is the same shape as most of the boxes that I get, is not the same box that we're normally into. This box is from, not a sponsored post, Lake Pro Tackle. And if y'all follow me on socials, you know I've got a lot of people that I consider mentors, a lot of people that I've been very fortunate to gain a lot of knowledge from, right? People who spent years, I don't want to say perfecting their craft, because you can't, I mean, can you really perfect it? I mean, unless your name's Jacob Wheeler, I don't think you got the game perfected. But here we are. And recently, Lake Pro Tackle started carrying a new soft plastic. Now, if you're a stranger to fishing, you might not know, but pre-spawn and spawn is a great time to throw a big, soft swim bait. Like, I found out a couple years ago with one of my favorite baits, the Rising Sun, that, dude, they smashed that thing. I've got some friends who are big, hard glide bait guys, and this time of the year, pretty much exclusively, if they're going after the bigger fish, they're going to be throwing soft swim baits. So while these do come in a lot of different sizes, right, from I think down to a 5-inch all the way up to a 12-inch, I went with the 6-inch, and the reason for that is because with my style of fishing, that is what will get thrown the most. If I had more time, if I was doing more fun fishing, all of it's fun. But, you know, if I was just out exploring, honestly, I'd probably go with the 9 and the 12. I'd throw that thing around. It would pull everything out, especially that 12-inch. If you've ever thrown, and I've been out with friends when they're throwing big 10, 12, 14-inch swim baits, like, if there's a fish under a dock, they will follow a 12-inch glide bait out. They might not hit it, but they will follow that bait out. So for guys that don't fish with electronics, if you want to expedite your fishing game, if you want to know what docks you need to be pitching under, you should have a 12 to 14-inch swim bait, glide bait tied up, because they will follow that thing out. If you've never seen it, you don't understand the conviction of which I am speaking, but I've seen it with my own eyes, and it is stupid, but it is fucking awesome. And, you know, we cheat, guys like me, right? We use the cheater box. We use scope. Anywho, I digress. I squirrel off. Like I was saying, I did go with the 6-inch. They do offer a 7.5. However, I didn't jump in it on the drop. And for those of you who aren't aware, when Lake Pro Tackle is bringing on new products or getting a drop of like a swim bait or a specific product that's in high demand, it's lakeprotackle.com. Again, this is not a sponsored post, but you got to be on that shit like quick.
He's telling you the truth, man.
I went on maybe an hour and a half after these got put on the site, and the 7.5-inch ones that I wanted, they were gone. I should have called my boy Sam and said, hey, set some of these aside.
I have to have one.
Anywho, here we are. This is the new Biwaa Kapsiz. It is what I went with is the pre-rigged version, and man, they are sexy. They have a much wider range in which you can fish it before it blows out. If you're familiar with the mag draft, which by the way, phenomenal bait. However, like other swim baits and glide baits, there is an ideal rate of retrieve in which you can use that swim bait and it will perform the way it was designed to be performing, right? Like that, you can't just burn a mag draft in, it's just gonna roll over. And people who don't know any better think it's messed up. Well, it's not messed up. Mag draft is designed for a specific retrieve to cause a nice body wobble with a big wag of the tail. But if you go slower than that, you don't get tail wag. If you go faster than that, it rolls over. Anyway, a bunch of problems with that. Well, my buddy John Shen got these a while back, of course, because he's, you know, friends with Oliver and I and those, you know, Big Bass Dreams fellers. I did go with the sinking version, which is basically a 1 1/4. It says 1.26 ounce, and I grabbed a couple. I'm going to show them to you right now. I'm going to take some out of the package. What colors did I go with? Well, predominantly, I don't have gin clear water. I don't even have like moderately clear water in a majority of the lakes that I fish. So I went with some of the more solid stuff that's going to show up. However, there are a bunch of those more clear water colors that are a bit more translucent, a little bit more sneaky. Again, that's just not my jam. If that is you, by the way, little not so pro tip, if you are fishing clear water, you do want to go with something that's maybe a little bit more quote unquote realistic, has a little bit more translucent look to it. But in the muddy to stained water, less than 2 feet of visibility, this is my jam. I'm not saying these are the best colors. These are my kind of my confidence colors, right? So I went with what they call the apple mint, which is a white and greenback. I'm gonna open that one up for y'all because I got 2 of them. That's my jam. Of course, we had to go with the pearl white, right? I mean, that's a standard. Yeah, I mean, pearl white, it always works. I'll leave this thing out in the sun. Maybe it'll get that nice yellowish color to it. That seems to be a good deal too. But went with that guy. They're 15 bucks, by the way, at lakeprotackle.com. I did go with the blueback chartreuse, and as you may or may not be able to see, it does have a little bit of transparency in the belly. I can kind of see some light poking through that. And then I went with the Sexy Shad, which is that gray back, kind of your traditional gray back, sparkly belly. These are all rigged the same. I got the same one for all of them. I maybe should have got some of the other ones as well this time of the year. Obviously, fish up shallow. You got pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn fish in all stages that are really kind of all over the place, at least from what I've seen. And that slow sinking version, I think it comes in at about an ounce, and that may have played a little bit better for me. But that's all good. I'll go after the more aggressive fish, and we'll get this thing opened up. Like I said, it's a 6-inch pre-rigged swim bait that is sealed up extremely well. Try to not lose a finger on camera, although I'm sure it would be good for the views. Again, this is the 6-inch Kapsiz from Biwaa. That's Oliver and I, Big Bass Dreams, what is it, Black Spirit, Defiant, right? All those brands. And this one is the cast. They call it the cast version. It's the 1 1/4 ounce, as you can see right there. That's not why you're watching this. You want to see the damn thing. All of these are the ones that I got. All of them are pre-rigged, and they do have that big top hook up there. Play with your different knots. For me personally, I do like to have the most freedom of movement for this, which allows it to roll. I've got a loop knot that I'm confident with. I've seen people use little clasps and stuff like that. So again, the best way to rig this is whatever gives you, there probably is an ideal way to rig this to give it the best action, but at the end of the day, whichever rigging method gives you the most confidence to throw this thing where the fish are, like up in the shit, that's probably gonna be the best way. It does have a properly lined up treble hook, so you do have your eyelet there, right? that is facing right at the camera. You see that? As opposed to being sideways, it's right at you. And then you've got the hook there. So it does come with the proper hook. And then as you look down in the belly, it's got a nice little split there. I'm probably doing a terrible job of that, but it's got a nice little split there. And what I'm gonna end up doing is taking that bottom hook right there that lines up with the eye of the hook. I'm gonna straighten that out a little bit. Has the barb on it, and be able to kind of wedge that down inside just like so. You can see it's a super soft plastic. It is weighted the right way though, so like I said, it has a much wider window of the speed in which you can retrieve it, and that is pretty dope. So you do have the fluff on the hooks there. They are very sticky. You've got that ball bearing swivel, nice and smooth right out of the package. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and tell you there's nothing revolutionary about it, but I will say it is a much softer plastic than maybe what you're used to on like a mag draft. And the importance of that is that you can really slow down your retrieve, so it has a nice big tail wobble. It has a huge tail on the back. You can see, I mean, even if I hold it there, the thing still rolls over. So that extra weight that's on the back of the tail as well just accentuates that tail wag. So that's the deal. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to throw these this time of year. I'm throwing a lot of mag draft. I'm throwing a lot of 316. And now I'm excited to kind of add this into the deal. Some super awesome colors. Again, picked them up from Lake Pro Tackle. I just got these. They were waiting on my doorstep when I got back. Wanted to show you. So that's the deal. Again, this is a 6-inch. Let's see. What does it say? What does it say on the board? Let's go ahead and drop this on the catch board. I'll turn it your way. This is not the legal way to measure a fish. We put it onto the catch board, and bam, it is right there at 6-inch. You can see you're not getting shorted. Anywho, by the way, this is 6 inches, fellas, not what you tell your wife. Anywho, again, my name is Peter. This is My Chaotic Fishing. I appreciate it. If you haven't already and you find this stuff interesting, if you learned anything from this video, consider subscribing. I do appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying rad. Follow me on all the socials, My Chaotic Fishing, and we will hopefully catch you next time.